Justin Gaathje is going to be fighting Paddy the Baddy. Wow, where did that come from? I mean, we didn't have much time. It was just Saturday. Paddy sure looked like his dance card was open. Justin Gaathje, not going to fight anybody unless for a title. He made that statement the last time Friday of last week. Hadn't been a lot of time. But imagine no business was done on Saturday. That was fight day. Sunday is traditionally travel day. That brings you to Monday and this morning. I mean, wow, they really got something incredible done. By the way, I told you my source for this, didn't I? Dricus du Plessis. Very relevant. Oh, by the way, just to add to the story, Dricus is fighting in August in Chicago against Chimaev. Dricus is paid through the pay-per-view on the overall buy rate. No matter how strong and wonderful a card is, only the defending champion will be recognized for that. And you may see a problem with that rating system. You may not. I'm just sharing within our sport. Whatever the main event is, and then, by the way, after the fact, whoever won the main event takes the credit for everything. If it was great business or bad business, it will always be looked at that way. So Dricus getting ready, going to a title fight, and he was talking about Gaathje and Paddy being his supporting cast. They were going to come out, they were going to co-main event, jerk the curtain for him and Chimaev. Huge fight. Really big fight. If I was in Dricus' position, that would be terrific news that Paddy the Baddy and or Justin Gaathje, let alone against each other, is added to your card. But Dricus is a fighter, and he is the world champion. And I don't believe just because he said it that it's enough for us to accept it to be true. Because again, I got to go back on my own and say, man, Dricus, this would have just gotten done. How? I mean, on what day of the week were we able to sit everybody down, whatever that means, a Zoom call, a phone call, a text exchange, but you got to get everybody's attention. You got to get up, you got to sit them down. You got to let Paddy know, hey, all of that effort and all of that work that you did to draw right into Ilya, the challenge by Ilya itself, the acceptance of the fight by the audience, forget all of that. Forget your timeline even. You wanted to fight close to 2026, into 2025. Forget all of it. I need you in a month. We've seen things like this, guys. Now hold that thought. You then, after you get that accomplished, got to go to Justin Gaathje and go, hey, all this title fight business, everything that you're talking about, everything that you said, I need you to rewind it. It's all done. It's not even for a debate. I got something for you. Oh, by the way, it's short notice. It's next month. And it's against Paddy. And you got to get him to say, okay, you got to find the time. You got to find the time between the event day of Saturday, the travel day of Sunday, the down day of Monday, and prior to getting into the war room on Tuesday, which, by the way, is where they happen to be sitting right now. Just to find that time, let alone to get the yeses, and then let me throw my own personal in, because this whole thing is just a guess. Dricus is a really good source. I would normally come and tell you this is so Dricus said, and he's the main event of the card. If anyone would know, it was Dricus, and we all get up and walk away here. And I would love to have a headline that tells you Justin Gaathje versus Paddy the Baddy. I would love to do that. I'm just looking at going, when did they got this done and how? And then don't forget, I had a personal element, which is I interviewed Paddy on Saturday night. And one of the questions I asked him, this whole idea of Paddy the Fatty is long gone. It's Paddy the Brick House. And I said to him, what do you weigh? Remember when he came face to face with Ilya? And I mean, it was like, it was so optically shocking how big. I mean, Paddy's looking down to him. Ilya pushes him. Paddy goes back about a quarter of an inch. I mean, it was shocking and noticeable. There's size difference at this current time. And I even said to Paddy, what do you weigh? He said 195 pounds. You know, and I'm doing this whole thing. I'm grabbing his arm, I'm feeling up his traps. You know, it's kind of this natural. Guy was hard as a rock, and he's 40 pounds overweight. So I'm being confronted with this piece of information, and I've gotta push back while discussing it. Like, if anybody would know the main event of the card, who stands to benefit the most. But But my commentary here is not actually on Patty versus Justin. My commentary is not actually on Drekis being the new Chael Sonnen coming to you guys with information that's not vetted. My commentary is on Gaathje, and I have a concern. There is, within the UFC, a time where that becomes home. You get very comfortable. You form friends in the office. You're sending somebody a message over at the UFC that has nothing to do with business. There becomes a time where you get comfortable. It becomes your home. Those become your buddies. And you get built into a system like anything else where you would like to be appreciated. The things that you have done, particularly if they're an above and beyond, and particularly if they are different than everybody else, I'm watching everybody else getting treated with a certain appreciation, and they have done far less than I have. So to get that validation of appreciation, you can ask for it in a few different ways, but one common way that guys have done is to demand a title shot. And the demand of a title shot, I will do nothing but fight for her title. We never get to that point, ever, until the guy has done something above and beyond, and he was not thanked. And no, I don't mean some big check comes. I mean literally, someone forgot to say thank you. Truly. You would be stunned what a cage fighter would do for a pat on the back. You would be stunned. The cage fighter to become a cage fighter had to get up on the weekend and go run 5 miles in the snow. He had to show up to practice every day. He had to skip social events, oftentimes his own prom. Every good party or every good time that you could ever have at a party, that guy had to do without. And the only reason he got up and came back the next day, because there was no money. When he was 9 years old, when he was 12 years old, when he was 14 years old, when he was 17 years old, just going to local clubs and just coming through the Pee Wee system, regardless of sport, there was nothing on the table like that. But someone, somewhere, after he put in that effort, told him, great job today. That, and that alone, not the dream, not what I was learning, not the game itself, not the camaraderie of the guys. That and that alone is what brought him back the next day, which turned into weeks, which turned into months and years and a career and got you to where you are now. And without exception, there is not a person who comes out and demands, I'm going to get this or else. The timeline is the same every time. The person did something that was above what they should reasonably be expected to do. They did something. And in that gap to where that person comes out and says, I'm not doing it again unless, somewhere he was not told good job. He was not told thank you. It wasn't patted on the back. That's a 100% accurate statement. There is also a human nature that once we say something, we tend to become more inclined to do it. Anybody that's working with you on goal setting will tell you that. So it's largely painted in a very positive way, but it can also have the other effect. And Justin Gaathje has gone as far as to come out and say, I will retire. I will do nothing unless, and he created an ultimatum, and he didn't mean it. I watched the interview live. Justin was being friendly. Justin was in a good mood. Justin was campaigning for a title shot. He was saying the words as best as he could. He was just doing an interview. He was a regular dude doing an interview, which, by the way, did great numbers. But when that story got retold and retold and retold, it has now put Justin in a position where he has to dig in, or he has to look as though, which is nothing more than an internal feeling. We don't care. We don't care when somebody changes their mind. We don't care when somebody gets confronted with an offer that they hadn't previously considered. We don't care, but the athlete thinks that we do. Had Jon Jones never said the words at a post-fight press conference that he said about Tom Aspinall, Jon Jones at this moment in time would not be retired. Had he skipped that press conference or had other words come out of his mouth, right now, Jon Jones would be your undisputed champion, likely with a signed bout agreement. But there's something about once you say it and then other people start saying they heard you say it, and then other people start saying it for you. Then other people change the tone of it and get behind you. Go, yeah, you should. That's right. Exactly. Jon Jones, you should get $12 million for this fight. Exactly. Justin Gaathje, I'm proud of you. Way to stand your ground. You shouldn't fight again. You gotta go, hey, hold on. Let's back everything up. Because let's not, as in support of Justin Gaathje, put Gaathje into a corner that he can't come out of. He can come out of that anytime he wants. He does not need to lock down and hold on that and demanding a title fight, not to mention when the champion of the division leaves, and as of 3 days ago, there wasn't even a title. I mean, not for nothing, but the division it went through a very strange spot. If Justin Gaathje wants to change his mind, he's got every right. But we need to let him know that. But it's because of that. It's because of that understanding. It's because my understanding of the psychology of the athlete that I don't believe that Dricus is right. And I'm not confident in confirming Dricus' statement. In fact, I'll go a step further and I'll make the opposite statement with no information. And I will tell you that in August, Paddy the Baddy is not fighting Justin Gaathje.